It's a war going on. Yeah, it's a war going on.
So this being Grammy weekend, I think it's only right to touch on hip hop, man. Hip hop plays a big part in the culture. So I got my dog, man, one of the hottest spitters in the game. My boy King Los, man, so we gonna bring it to y'all.
I'm King Los. You know, I represent the hip hop culture.
All right, so for the people that don't know, when did you start doing hip hop?
I want to say like 16.
Word.
I got into writing. I wasn't really rapping, but I was just writing. I was writing literature, poetry, and stories and different things like that because when I was 16, my dad was murdered. So I used it to vent a lot of my frustrations and get a lot of my thoughts on paper. So I started writing, picking up literature like that, yeah.
Most definitely. So would you say it kept you out the streets? I feel like with barbering, this shit definitely kept me out the streets. You know, you grow up around niggas that's heavy, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's moving shit in the street, whether it's, you know what I'm saying, doing whatever. For me, barbering was the thing that kept me out the way, you know what I'm saying? So it definitely changed my life in that way. Would you say hip hop did the same thing for you?
Nah, hip hop ain't really keep me out the streets. I was still in the streets because I didn't really have a choice at the time because I was surrounded by so many street people. Like all my friends, my neighborhood, everybody I was around is street. You know, I'm from Baltimore. It's just a street place.
Yeah.
But I think what kept me out of the streets was more so just my integrity. You know, my own integrity. I don't think. I think you have hip hop, but then you have the individual. And it's me, so me as the individual, just my personal integrity, you know, I was in the streets and I did some shit and I did some things, but my ultimate greater goal was not to really make that something that I was proud of or, you know, use that as a glorification thing for the hip hop. Which is real easy, you know. You can easily glorify the streets in hip hop and become popular, especially coming from where I'm from.
Yeah.
So you know, I just wanted bigger than the situations that I was in. But you in what you in because of the environment that you in sometimes. So hip hop was definitely a way out.
For like the younger guys, what's one piece of advice that you always? I know you big on, you know what I'm saying, giving game. That's the one thing I always get from you is you always giving game and you just be spitting, talking that shit. What's one piece of game that a younger guy that's coming up in the game can take and be like, man, that shit can change me for the better, and I can take it and run with
it? Erase everything you ever been taught. Seek truth outside of everything that you've ever been taught. You know? Search, man. Search for the truth. The truth is hidden. You know, 90% of all the shit that we ever known or been taught was either lies or it was misconstrued in some way. You gotta seek the truth, man. You gotta search, and you gotta search outside of the foundation that we've been given. We've been given a lot of information that was just the best of what our parents had, and that's not maybe the best for us, but it's the best that they could do, so we respect it. But in the same sense, we need to seek truth outside of what we've been given. And once we do that, we'll start to crack the matrix a little bit more and evade these obstacles out here and deal with this shit and have more of a spiritual framework for what it is that's going to give us forward progress. That's what I would say. Think outside the box, man, for sure.
I know a lot of guys, when they talk about King Los, they say, man, dude, a scholar. I was on LA Leakers watching your freestyle, and the shit you touched on went so deep.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, it's probably gonna go over their heads, but it went so deep. What make you go so deep in your raps? Cause you take it there all the way, you know, really breaking shit down, really telling people who you are, like from the black culture to kings and
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like what makes you go that deep as opposed to staying on the surface where it's like you might do the average, you know, club record or whatever the case is. Mm-hmm. What makes you go that deep?
I truly believe in balance, and I believe that I'm no different from anybody. Like I got surface things too, you know. I got shit that's surface, that's not deep, that's in some senses could be maybe deemed as quite basic, because I feel like it's relative to have something that more people can relate to, but you just have to determine what your goals are. And then when I'm on a platform like the LA League, my goal is to use their platform as a means to spread a message. You know, they got what, like 2 million subscribers, so I'm trying to use those 2 million people to convey a message to what may be needed, you know, in our in society today.
It's always good talking to you, man. Like I said, it's always good kicking game back and forth.
Right.
We learn a lot from you, you know what I'm saying? Just the gem that you be dropping. You may not even know you be dropping it, just on some conversation shit, man. But I appreciate it, for real, for real. But what would you say? What would you say next up, right now? What's next up for King Lowe's?
Oh man, well shit.
I know you're doing the TV. You got. Pretty sure you fucking with the film. Music always. I know you writing.
I just did Netflix, Rhythm and Flow season 1. I was a coach on there. I just wrote the majority of the music for Empire, the rap, for the last 2 seasons. I did a season of Wildin' Out with Nick. Shout out to Nick Cannon, you know, black entrepreneur, genius, real cool guy, humble, humble man. I gotta put some music out because I was in a situation with my label and I wasn't really able to put out music the way I wanted. And now I'm out that situation, so I did millions of streams last year and didn't release no music. So this year I gotta put out music, man, and I gotta flood the streets. I don't give a fuck. I'm put out at least 100 songs this year. At least 100 this year.